Well, hello, hello. Happy Friday, everybody. This is Tanya, and I am so delighted to jump in here with you guys on a Friday afternoon. I know it is not my normal Tuesday or Thursday for Tanya Talks, but I didn't want to get to the weekend without getting back in here and leaving you with some great content and information and just tips about home buying, home selling, and that's kind of what I do. If you are catching this as a replay and you are on a different platform other than Facebook, go over to facebook.com/it's the perfect spot. Like my page, click the little 3 buttons up at the top to get the notifications so you'll know exactly when I go live each and every time. So you won't miss any of the content because I try to do it on my business page rather than my personal page just to keep that the thing separate. But a lot of my people are all on the Facebook, not my page necessarily, but just my Facebook community. So every once in a while I'll do it on my personal page instead of my business page. But I wanted to make sure that you know how to reach me and find out when we go live again. All right, so today, thanks for joining another episode of Tanya Talks. And as you probably saw or could read when I was going live, today we're going to talk about 3 different kitchen remodel tips or hacks, if you will, that will really help attract buyers. So whether you are looking to get your house ready to put on the market or you have a friend or a neighbor that has their house for sale right now, you can forward this on to them when the whole live is done and you can share that and you'll look like a hero. So just wanted to thank you for joining us. And, you know, I think a lot of us spend some time on Pinterest and Instagram and we see these kitchens and we're just, we have kitchen envy, right? I know I do. And I look at it and go, oh my gosh. Well, you can't always do that whole comparison, right? Because we know that not all homes are Instagram and Pinterest worthy, right? A lot of us just have the average home that needs to get sold, and we want things that we can do that won't break the bank to get our house ready, right? So let's talk kitchens specifically, because if the kitchen isn't great, then this is where you're going to lose some buyers. It's a very costly renovation, and a lot of times people don't have 30 grand to drop into a kitchen renovation, right? So let's talk about some things that you could do that would really not break your bank, but that would help give a mini facelift, if you will, for your kitchen. Okay, so raise a hand, put the little hand emoji if you're here. Let me know that you're watching. Again, if you're catching this on the replay, I appreciate you joining, but put any comments that you have below, any questions that you want me to get answered. I will see this later and I will get back to you if I don't answer. So if you see me looking up over here, it's because I've got a bigger screen and I want to make sure that I don't miss any of the questions or comments that you guys may have. So, all right, let's talk about tip number 1, cabinet hardware. Now, some cabinets are very modern and they don't have any hardware. So I get that, and that may be the look that you're going for. But if you've got the old kind of hardware, and let's say it's the old brass, not the new antique matte brass, but the old brass, or maybe it's worn, or, you know, it just may not be very modern and current. So this is one of the most inexpensive things you can do, shy of painting, right? Cabinet hardware, you can get some new pulls, $5 to $7. Check Amazon and look and see. You may even get some things for less than that. But be sure to measure the distance between the screw holes for the pulls. If you've got not the knob pulls, but the ones that have the handle, make sure you measure, because the holes, the distance between, you know, when you attach it to the cabinet are different. They're not all the same. It's not a standard. So make sure you measure before you place any order, because that can also get costly and delay your time frame, right? So in order to keep things moving, make sure you measure. Okay, so backsplash. This is tip number 2, backsplash. A lot of times we're sitting there looking through Instagram and Pinterest and we're like, wow, that kitchen looks amazing. And sometimes it's just the difference of the backsplash. So take a look, zoom into those pictures that you love and that you've fallen in love with, and just really see if you could do a mini makeover in your kitchen just by changing out the backsplash. Not changing the counters or the cabinets, maybe just the backsplash and the handles, right? That could be a really great, inexpensive way to make everything look clean and fresh in the back. So a lot of times it just freshens the whole kitchen up and brightens it. Subway tiles, you know, they've been pretty popular for a while, and I don't see that trend going away for a while. I see some really neat ones that are, you know, the edges are more natural instead of completely symmetrical and straight lines that make it have that old world warm feeling and kind of antique-y feel. They've got some that are shiny and bright that almost have like a glass overlay. You know, there's so many different things that you can do with your backsplash, even if it's a monotone color. So definitely check that out. I would definitely recommend going for something a little more neutral if you're planning on selling, simply because you want to appeal to the masses here, right? All right, tip number 3, buy a rug. I know we're talking about a kitchen and you're like, a rug in the kitchen. So I'm not talking about that big, huge 8x10 that you would have in your family room or living room. One that you could have, you know, a runner in front of the kitchen area, in front of the kitchen sink area, or against a back wall area where the cabinets are. Something that will really help dress the space up, add a little pop of color. Because when you're putting your house on the market, a lot of times you need to think about how the photographer is going to come in and shoot that space. And I would encourage you to kind of go like this through your house and look. And a lot of times the flooring in the kitchen is overlooked. So if you could make sure to add a little pop of color, but choose a very sophisticated, classic style, it could really enhance the space. And I guess the pictures will also benefit from that, because what happens is, I forgot the statistics, the exact number, but let's say it's 97%. It's something high like that. 97% of buyers all start their home search online. So if your pictures aren't great, they're just taking you off of their list for their top 3 that they want to go see with their agent, right? So you want to end up in the top 3. So pictures are really how we're going to do it, and a rug really can accentuate the space. So consider that as well. But think about something that also would maybe have a pattern or that is easily cleaned, because it's the kitchen. You know, spills happen there, right? Okay, so did you like these tips? If you did, hit me with a little emoji, a little, you know, yay, thank you. And if you want more kitchen remodeling ideas or tips, shoot me a little comment or DM me, and I'll make sure to get back with you here. So thanks again for tuning in to this week's topic and Tanya Talks on 3 kitchen remodeling hacks and things that will help you really not break the bank, but update with a little mini facelift for your kitchen. Hope you enjoyed this. And join back in a little bit. I'm going to jump off for a little bit because I've got to catch up with something, but I'll come back and I'm going to talk about the one room that really turns buyers off, even if they love the house. So be sure to join me back probably in about, 20 minutes. Just got something to wrap up. And thanks for joining. Thanks for watching the replay. Comment below, put any question that you might have, and I will be sure to answer that later. Thanks again for joining. Happy Friday.